My name's Shane Coley, 31 years of age, from Russellville, Arkansas. And just to get it off and make it clear, all the bad stuff that I ever done to anyone or my family or anybody, I brought it all on myself. I was raised as a normal child here in the great state of Arkansas. I had a loving family that loved me. I was never abused or anything, that what a lot of kids go through, unfortunately. But what I did to myself all began in high school in the 10th grade. And everyone can relate to peer pressure, and that's exactly what happened to me. I quit doing the things I love to do, which is anything in the outdoors. I love to hunt, and I quit doing all that for one thing, and that was for drugs. I wasn't the nicest person in high school. I was pretty much a bully. Just mentally, I abused people. I used my size in my advantage. Peer pressure brought me into drugs, and it didn't take very long for me to realize that you can make a pretty good living in drugs. And it's the wrong living, but that's pretty much what I did. Bought weed, smoked weed, sold weed, anything I could do to make an extra buck. Moved into a lot of heavier stuff. Not long after starting off with weed, I noticed I was starting to snort things and maybe go into places I shouldn't be. One thing when you're on drugs, you're always looking for the next step. You're always looking for something. You find one thing that gets you high, and then you move on to something else. And once that don't get you as high, you move on to something else. It's a never-ending process, and it all leads to one thing, and that's trouble. Burned a lot of bridges with my family, lost a lot of friends. Have friends today that aren't here no more because of drugs. So it's really just a one-way road, and it all leads to the same place, and you don't want to take that trip. Stole it from my family, all because of drugs. But I guess when you're doing stuff like that, you just live in the moment. You don't look to the future. You don't sit back and think of, well, if I do this, what's going to happen next? You just don't care. All you care about is the moment. That pretty much was high school for me. I was really starting to maybe see this was wrong, where this was all going. I was going to end up not graduating, maybe dropping out, and just not doing anything with my life. So really I wanted to look for some kind of structure, something to get me out of here, to give me a point, a meaning, I guess, to do right and quit doing wrong. My friends were going to college. Some of them had scholarships, and people would ask me, well, what are you going to do? I didn't have a clue. So I went to the recruiter station. I wanted to be a Marine more than anything in the world. That was all I cared about. Once I seen what they had to offer, that was what I wanted. And I also knew that if I got out of this town, maybe that's the one thing I was looking for the whole time I was doing all these bad, horrible things, was the Marine Corps. I was in San Diego, California, MCRD, Marine Corps Recruit Depot, going to boot camp. Got stuck in a unit after graduating, went to the School of Infantry, and I got stuck in light armored reconnaissance. I was a scout for a forward-looking unit that, we punched out in front of the division and went and looked at where to move troops into, where to move Marines. And that was all hunky-dory until today's present conflicts, which I'm a veteran of, arose. And man, I'm here to tell you, you think of the meanest thing that you can do to a person, the most unforgiving thing you can do to them, horrible things. I've done that to people. I've seen horrible things done to people. I've been to some of the most remote places on this planet. I mean, you got the war going on right now still, and guys are dying every day. As a young Marine or a young soldier or an infantryman, whatever, over there, you do these horrible things. You always grew up as a kid thinking, thou shalt not kill. You just don't kill people. All this terrible, terrible stuff that mankind does to man, you just think, well, that's it. I'm done. There's no saving me. what's the point? And I tell you what, a lot of guys come home and they go to the bottle because, man, that just makes you forget everything. But really, all you're doing is trying to solve a problem by creating a problem, because now, you're an alcoholic. So really, you were on drugs, you went in the Marine Corps to get straighten everything up. You come home, now you're drinking every day. Well, all you did was try to fix a problem by creating a problem, and that don't really work. I've always been looking for something. I didn't know what I was looking for. And through meeting a bunch of different guys, just a bunch of newfound friends, I started learning more and more about God. I started learning more and more about God. All right, I'm gonna tell you something like this. I don't know nothing about religion. I don't know a thing. The first time, and I had never went to an Assembly of God. I'd never been to one. But I drove by it and I always looked and thought, I want to go in there and I want to see what that's all about. Because the parking lot was always full on Sunday morning, so there must be something good going on in there. But I never been in one, didn't know what to expect. Talking about a fish out of water. But when I walked in there, this is real stuff. The day that I walked in to the Assembly of God church here in Russellville, and it don't have to be Assembly of God. It can be any church that you go to, but I know that the day that I walked in that church here in Russellville, and we started singing, I felt something in my heart, inside here, that said, Shane, you don't know nothing about religion, but whatever it is in here, I think I need to get to know it. So I've been going and trying to learn more and more about the religion that's in there, about God, because anybody that died for my sins and rose from the dead, I think I need to get to know that pretty quick, because that's a pretty powerful thing. But that's from coming at here, is the feeling I felt the day actually any Sunday that I go in there. That's pretty overwhelming. That's a powerful feeling. So anybody that feels that feeling, if you don't have a mindset right then and there that whatever it is in here, I need to get to know it, then I don't think you're living anymore, because that's a pretty powerful feeling.